My story starts like from the far east countries that I was born in Bhutan. So after when I was 12 years old, I need to leave my country because of some political reason. We came back to Nepal and we stayed in the refugee camp almost like 18 years by being a refugee and depending upon the different agencies for shelter, for food. But we are lucky enough to get some education in the camp. We got the education, we get chance to go to higher education. I have got some colleges in back home. So after that, it was almost 2000, end of the 2006. United States government, they they want to resettle the refugees from different countries. Among this group, we witnessed refugee falls on that, and we were really interested to move to United States for the resettlement process. We started applying for that, and we applied. We did different processes. We did health screening, and everything looks good. We passed. We are able to come to United States, and finally, we came to United States in August 2008 in refugee status. And when I was here, the first agency to resettle me was Catholic Charities. I got a lot of help from them, finding jobs, and my caseworker helped me a lot to know the laws, to know the system in the United States, how we need to do different things. So in that way, I was here. So in the need, Catholic Charity afterwards need the different language speaker, different case workers like in employment, in the case management. So they select me like 2-3 months ago, and now I'm working them. I'm working for the people of the different countries and the different communities. I really enjoy working with that because it was quite easy to help the people recently coming here, because I know I came in the same way, so I enjoy with them. So the most difficult adjustment is for me is knowing the system, and the transportation is the most thing I feel over here, because I was not known how to drive,
Mm.
and I was not know how to ride the bus in America. I knew how to ride the bus in back home, but the system is different. It is totally different. And for the language, like most of our community people, the most difficulty they will face here is language. But I was speaking a little bit English, and language was not too difficult for me. But like transportation and knowing the system is my difficulties.
So did your family?
In my family, my brother Yam, he came a month ago than me. He came here in July 2008, and I came here in, me along with my wife came 2008 August 12. After a couple of days, within the month of August, rest of my family came here.
That's cool.
In Nepal.
The life in the refugee camp is, the camp life in the refugee camp is safe but not good. So almost all of hours productive life is spent in the camp, because we are not access with the different kind of the new technologies, science and technology, because we need to confine in a refugee camp, and the living standard is very, very low. But life is safe, not too much scary and dangerous.
Mm. Um,
When we are here, so we have got a small community over here. Within the community, we didn't find most of the difficulties, but we are facing some of the difficulties during the time of the funeral. That is what I am observing, is we have got a lot of difficulties in the face while we are performing the funeral for anybody. We belongs to Hindu. Hindu wills, we need to do 13 days of the funeral. We need to confine in a house. But in America or in other religion, they don't have this type of system. So that is the difficulties part in our culture. We are performing over here, and other things so we can do for that. There is no difficulties in other except for the funeral. The job in the Catholic charities, before I did some of the volunteer services to the Catholic charity, mostly interpreting the people during the time of the orientation, and if they didn't find, if they want to take some of the people for the job interviews, and if they are non-English speakers, if I am free, they are calling me, and I used to go there and help. So in that way, I was well into the different staffs in the Catholic charities before I worked there, and I came to know there is a opening in Catholic charities for the Nepali, and they are hiring. In the same way, I applied, sent my resume and the application to them. They called me. They took me a small interview over there, and they select me. That is how I involved in that,
Mhm.
and I'm working with them now.
Favorite things.
I mean, like my favorite things in the United States are
Like, what do you like to do that you weren't able to do before when you were in the refugee camp?
like like as compared to my life in the refugee camp in the United States, this vast difference. So everything is my favorite one because we have got a freedom to do every kind of things.
Yeah.
When we are when we are like when we follow the regulations and laws of the country, and if we are doing, we can do anything. But whereas in refugee camp we need to confine in certain places, so we are not access to the other areas. So we can access here everything. So I can buy a house if I make a money. I can do a business my own. So everything is good enough over here. But these things are not in back home in the refugee camp.